Hi everybody, welcome to the dungeon. My name is Robin and today is Flameworking 102.85 Vines and Flowers. Some of you may have seen my previous Story Flowers demo, and I wanted to revisit that one and add some vines to the background. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll start out with the cane and then we'll get right into all of our layers of flowers. And I hope you all enjoyed this one. And with that said, I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the dungeon. All right, here's the color palette that I'm going to use to make the cane with. So we're going to make twisted cane in order for us to get like a viney effect in the background. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is fairly simple. I'm just going to kind of flash warm about an inch or so of the colors that I want to use. And then I will once they are tacky enough, I will kind of tack weld one side and then very gently make sure that they are well heated together, at least just tack fused. And then I'll roll that onto there. Now the transparent that I'm going to use here is a little thicker, so I don't want to lay that down the same way. So instead I will just swipe a little bit of color right in between those opaque colors. And then on the other side I have another, I think that was emerald green. And then on the other side I will use the dark grass green. And I'll just swipe a little bit of this. Now this one is a thinner rod, so I'll build it up a little bit more to get an even amount of glass all the way around. All right, and then I'm just going to heat that up. And now I want to make a transfer. You don't necessarily have to. You could just even out, the back side and add a rod to the front side. But I want to transfer this over onto two metal punties. And so I'm just going to stick my first rod in there and take away the glass. And then I will just make sure that if it's doesn't look very good on the end, I want to make sure that I pinch and pull that end off so all the colors meet on the other side. And then that gives me a nice point to punty up on again. And then I always tend to kind of cinch the glass down using my torch head every time I do this. Okay, so now that we have the glass and everything's ready, all we have to do is start heating this up and twist and pull. So I always start out by heating the center. And having the rods there is helpful for me because they don't overheat. So when I come out of the flame here, I'm very gently starting to pull, and I'm also gently twisting. And then as the glass kind of cools down and sets up a little bit, I start twisting faster and pulling faster and faster and faster and faster. And then I'll come out when I'm done and take one end off and clip the other side. And this is the cane that we'll use for our piece today. All right, moving along, you see my color palette over here. I have some transparent colors as well as this nice light sky blue that I'm going to use for the background. Actually, I think this is the light turquoise. So I'm going to start out on one end. I want this to be a nice long bead so I can get a lot of flowers in here. Although, when I wrapped my mandrel up, and be careful when you wrap your mandrel up, I am using a thin rod, but I do want to have this as thin as possible. I could have made it a lot thinner, but I ended up with this amount, so that's what I'm going to use, and we're going to just heat it up and very gently roll it out till I have a nice shape. And then what I like to do is keep one side of my bead cool and work the other side. And that does help me to keep everything on center. And then when I'm finished with the other side and I like the way it looks, then I'll let that cool down as I heat up, the opposite side and work on that. And then when I'm done here, that looks pretty good. It's about 1.5 inches long. Now I want to pick up a little bit of this. It's like a dark aqua. It's really, no, a teal. It's a dark teal, really pretty color. And I'm just going to heat some up and just stick it and twirl back and forth very quickly until I get just an abstract, kind of watery background on there. I love playing with the dimensionality of glass, as you guys know. So this kind of helps to give the background a little bit more of a watery effect. So I'm going to heat this up and just roll it down. Make sure that the very last thing I'll do here is just kind of heat the edges up a little tiny bit and then roll those out. And get a really nice effect here. I love that look. I'll have to investigate that later because what comes next covers all that up pretty much. So I'm going to add my vine cane here, and I'm going to start out just by kind of stair-stepping it back and forth around my bead, and then just starting to add it here and there coming off of that first vine. And I have to say, I feel as though I got a little excited with this cane and just kept adding it more and more and more to the point where all of a sudden I realized that if I keep adding more, I will never see the background again. So you don't have to add this much. Sometimes less is more. Anyway, I got it all on there, and I'm going to roll this out, heat it up real soft, roll it out. And I like to roll this one out nice and straight, and then I will very, very gently ease the heat into the edges again and taper those off. Yeah, I added so much of that. Oh my goodness. Now here's where things can change for you. Not only adding a smaller amount of the cane, but you could add a very thin layer of clear here. So you have a different level from the vines and the flowers. But I'm going to start the flowers right off on this vine. And I am using a pre-made stringer. So it's a 2mm stringer. You can use your own stringer if you would like. And I'm just going to start adding the 3-dot patterns for my flowers. You can add a 5-dot pattern or a 4-dot pattern, whatever you like. Sometimes I get stuck on these, the little 3-petal flowers because they're so simple and they kind of remind me of morning glories. Okay, so I'm gonna flip my rod over, and then I will continue to add more dots. And then I'll add one more row here at the bottom. And you can add your dots differently. You can add them as a triangle, or you can add them like I'm doing here, 1 dot at a time as you go around the ring of the bead. All right, now once we have our dots on, and it is kind of important that your dots don't touch each other. I have always had a hard time with that until, the last several years of my flame working, where even with a stringer, I would be shaky and, one dot will touch another one, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can get them all to be a little separate from each other, it just has, each petal shows up. I do have one where where they touch, but that's okay. All right, moving on. I'm going to add some color here, and this color, I'm just going to add the same amount after I rolled out my flowers and smoothed them out. I'm going to add this dark, it's like a gold ruby, but it's dark, and I've had that rod for a long time, and I only use it sparingly. So on the outer flowers, I'm going to use the ink blue. I think that's what it's called. And it's such a beautiful color. Or any transparent violet could work. Actually, any color you want, you can make your flowers. And then I'll turn this around so I can get better access to the other side. And this is where I try, if I have 2 dots touching, I'll try to make up for that and keep the next series of dots separate if I can achieve it. All right, now I'm going to just very gently heat everything up. And when I heat things up like this, I will heat one side and then the other side, the left side and the right side, very, very gently until everything gets smooth enough to where I can roll it out without smashing it. Okay, so now we have our first row of flowers here, and what I want to do is tighten up my flame because I am going to poke a little indentation with my tungsten pick into every single flower. You can also use a really thin stringer that has some clear around it, like a little filigrana cane, but a thin stringer, and push that into these, which will give you the effect of some kind of little something coming out of the center. But I'm just going to hang out and heat each one up and press into it. And I always like to make sure that I let the glass kind of rest for a second and soak in the heat before I press. And it just makes the press go down a little deeper, and it makes it a little easier. All right, now that we have that finished, I'm going to move on just by very gently kind of cleaning things up. These indentations, I will leave them I'll leave them in there. I don't need to roll them out too much, because what I'm going to do next is encase the whole thing and just cover up all the indentations. There is different ways to do this and to achieve a similar look without encasing. You could add dots on top of each flower, dots of clear, a really nice big dot of clear, and then gently start to press that dot down all by itself until it covers up that flower. And that could be a different way to achieve a nice three-dimensional effect without having to worry about getting this far and then just to have like your swiping distort your pattern. So there are different ways to achieve this by kind of getting around the full swipe. All right, so now that that's done, I want to just gently shape up my corners and the sides and even out my glass a little bit with the butter knife. I just love using this tool, you guys. It's so nice. It's like make sure if you're using a butter knife, it's stainless steel. And it's kind of like a marvering table in the hot shop. It's also made of stainless steel, so it's a nice tool to use as long as you don't overheat it. All right, now I just want to heat everything in and make sure that things are looking just the way I want it to. So now we can add our next row of flowers. This is my favorite part. And you can add your flowers wherever you want to. That's what I really enjoy about this, is the whole, reason why I enjoy making these is because as you turn the bead, you can see beneath it and around things. And I just find that so magical. Not every material, does that. And it's just something fascinating about the glass. So neat to be able to create something like this. Okay, anyway, moving on. So when I press these down, well, first I'm going to heat one side and the other side very gently until they almost are flat. And then what I like to do when I press these out is I'll press from the center of each flower and rock it and then go out until it's nice and round, if that makes any sense. I'll rock the flower flat. Or you could use a butter knife to flatten them. Now let's go ahead and get back into this. I just decided to finish up with the gold ruby on both sides. And I'll go ahead and just add a small dot on each one of those petals. I love the way this ended up looking. There was something so beautiful to me about the blue in the background that just reminded me of Hawaii for some reason. I'm just like, wow, this bead is very Hawaiian to me. So I call it the island flower bead. You have to let me know what you think. Okay, so I'm gently flattening those down and just making sure that everything is ready to go so I can press all of these flowers in. I felt really good during this the making of this piece. I felt pretty steady, so I was really pleasantly surprised that I hit almost every one of these flowers right in the center. And one more time. All right. Awesome. So now all we have to do is very gently just melt the outside a little bit and roll it out. We're just looking for a smooth surface to now go ahead and encase with. And like I said before, if you are nervous about encasing, just add, a huge dollop of clear right on top of each flower, and then very gently just heat that one bit of clear and start pressing it down with your knife a little at a time, and it should go over the color. And if it doesn't, add more dots around it until it is covered. Okay, now that we're done with this layer, we can go ahead and start to, I always like to melt in my edges first, especially the one that the swipe ended on, the worst looking end. I always like to start out, I guess I did, but I'm starting out on the opposite side now. Okay, so now I'm just going to roll one edge out, and I'm just looking to very gently round it out with my butter knife. And then on this side, now I know why I did that, because I wanted you guys to be able to see this side, because there isn't enough clear all the way. I wanted a little bit more of that clear going down to the end of the mandrel. All right, now I'm going to heat that up and just smooth it in a little bit. And then I crack my mandrel, or the bead release. And I was a little like, okay, at least I'm at the very end. And anytime that happens to me, really, you guys, it's like a wrap. It's like, okay, let's wrap it up. So what I do want to do here is be very careful of that edge now and not to overheat it, because if you start to overheat an end that has bead release missing, what happens is the glass will start to pull away from the mandrel, if you haven't noticed already, if that hasn't already happened to you, and it's not good. You don't want that to happen. So I am just going to heat everything up real nice, and we are done with our island flower bead. I hope you all enjoy this one. Let me know what you think. And on that note, I hope to see you all again in the dungeon.